So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to do something called a game loop. Now a game loop is something that's going to be tested over and over, so if you imagine it's going to be in a continuous circle and it's always going to look for this. So the first thing we need to do in our existing code is add a new action or event, so click on that and it's an event and a game loop. Now while it's looking for this all the time, if you click in there, first thing we need to do is say what happens if data board is touched. So if the board is touched, we're going to do this. Now if you've used code do before, you might realize it's like when this happens, do this, and you can kind of compare this to if and do with your students. So what we need to do is select data and pick your sprite, which is the football. Alright. Now click on set X. Alright. And now if we go along, we're going to delete that 0. Alright. And then if you go to data, alright, board, and go along, touch current X. So let me just show you that working. So I'll run that. Alright. Now the reason why that hasn't worked, so you're thinking, why isn't this working? Well, if you go down, that's setting it to the current position, but remember before we need to update it on the wall. So if you go to data, board, and you want to update on the wall. So while it's doing this, it's always updating the board. So now if I run it, that shows the left and right position, X, because I'm clicking and dragging, and that will work on the screen as well. So let me just show you how I did that again so that we can do it for Y. So data sprite, my football, and we want to set the Y position, so that's the up and down. Now to find the current position you're touching, if you delete the 0, you go to data and board, and if you go along, there it is, there's the current position, touch current, and we want position Y. And again we need to make sure that's updated on the wall, so I'm going to cut this and paste it underneath. So now if I run it, I can now control where the sprite is on the board. So if you watch back this tutorial slowly, you'll be able to see how you can use a game loop to control where your character goes on the screen using your finger position using touch current. So give that lesson a go and see if you can get your sprite moving, because there are other ways of doing this which I'll do in another video tutorial in future lessons.